I mean, we are going to see the Ying brought off the board from Cloud9. Again, not a surprise, especially with Super on the other team.
By far and away their most banned operator for Cloud9. So it doesn't strike me as unusual. Lion was their second most banned operator, but he is in a competitive quarantine, as we like to say. And unsurprising, Elephant Gang let me try again. They will ban Blackbeard, as sometimes words are very difficult. Now, we know on Cloud9's side of things, they have an exceptional Glaz on their roster, and they can bring that out as well. Coastline, if Glaz goes unbanned, does tend to see quite a lot of Glaz play, and I assume it will be no different here. The Echo ban is commonplace, and we'll see it yet again. And the only difference between Map1 and Map2 is that Cloud9 will take the Mira out of the equation, which is a pretty strong operator here on Coastline, and it's going to make it so that that Penthouse Theater site upstairs and possibly even Hookah is a little bit more difficult because you won't have the mirror windows available.
Yeah, that is the one thing I do love about Coastline. Every single site you can play. A lot of maps do not have operable sites for all of their sites. Consulate is very, very close. I still feel people are kind of trying to feel out Tellers a little bit. We've seen some Mira play on it in the past, but nothing too crazy where it's in everyone's rotation. But Coastline, a different story. If that Mira gets through, you will see that Penthouse. But otherwise, in competitive at least, Penthouse is one of the least played sites on all of Coastline. More or less going for that kitchen and hookah setups traditionally. And we've been seeing a lot more of double bar recently as well, Parker.
Yeah, double bar has actually been statistically the most defendable site for teams that play on this map. It was kitchen for quite a while, but I think the fact that kitchen was played so regularly, it allowed the attackers to be able to figure out exactly how to approach it. One thing that is very common in Rainbow6 is that you'll go from one site to another, strategies will develop, they will become so ingrained in teams that you'll just start going towards other sites. But eventually, things come back to the norm, and that's what we're seeing here. Penthouse Theater, because kitchen is not always the most defendable site anymore, Penthouse Theater's actually been slowly seeing its pick rate go up and up and up.
Which is good. You always want a map that has balanced sites and so many choices. It really does bring the best out of Siege with operator choices and everything else. Now, we are going to see Mark on that dock. We didn't see too much play of this last time. Mark opting for the dock mainly because of that ACOG. You can still pick up your friends with those little Healy boys you launch out of the gun. And, I mean, the main priority is that ACOG. That gun is so dangerous in the right hands.
Interesting here that Maestro's not banned. It will not be brought out by Cloud9. So an ACOG is almost always a necessity for teams when you're defending the theater side of things. You can reinforce the two panels that sit behind the one shelf that's just next to the couch, and then you can play behind that shelf and look all the way through both sites over towards red, or what is called guitar hall. And then you can also look towards bathroom, depending on the way that you reinforce those two side panels or don't reinforce those two side panels. It's really up to the defense here. And that, I assume, is the way that Cloud9 is going to play this. They're doubling up on the information that they're going to need. Instead of the Maestro, they're going to have a Valkyrie as she remains unbanned. And our first bit of contact is going to be Retro downstairs inside of the main lobby. He's on a collision course with Trippin, but neither of them are able to find their shots. But it almost looks like Neptune's is, and it's going to be a run out from Laxing, but denied, as neither of them will be able to grab a kill on that encounter.
Yeah, Laxing, as of late, has really embraced that highly aggressive playstyle, and it's suited him very, very well. Recent game that I casted, he dropped 21 kills on Oregon, which was absolutely insane. Now, I'm not going to say what the final was, because they might have lost the map a little bit, but Laxing, 21 kills nonetheless, very, very impressive. Now, delaying so much time is this defense, but God is going to go down. That's going to be the smoke off the board. Such a massive operator to have at your disposal, but they're not going to have it for this take of Elephant Gang. Retro going to find one of his own onto Super, though, and then is going to be the Zofia going down. Fox A starting to get in a little bit of combatant downstairs near the kitchen area. And thanks for Elephant Gang, again, pretty methodical as they are starting to look towards site, and that is going to be the last smoke nade for Avian.
This is huge for Elephant Gang, though, because Fox A is much more important than the way he's being used for the time being. All he's doing is keeping Trippin busy, but Trippin is equally keeping Fox A busy, and well, would you look at that? There's no cardiac sensor to give the information that the plant goes down successfully, but oh my, I speak too soon, and Fox A with the C4 to stop it dead in its tracks. He'll grab Trippin as well as Laxing is there. Avian doing everything he can, but he's only got 20 seconds to work with. And he's not going to get anywhere. C9 pinch him just outside. Bomb site, there's Laxing. He gets the glass down, and C9 will take round number 1.
Yeah, and as you guys can see right there, Laxing with that beautiful lava skin that we just released on that Year 4 Season Pass. I haven't gotten it yet because obviously I haven't been home, I've been here, but I mean, it looks fantastic.
Absolutely gorgeous. Keep in mind that Year 4 is just around the corner, given the fact that Wind Bastion released. So feel free to purchase that season pass. Just a bit of a shameless plug for all of you there. You get access to that lava skin right away, as well as you get the meteorite or the lava Rainbow6 charm. You get
I believe it's lava, yes.
Lava, yeah, and then you get the credits as well. So overall, pretty nice, all things considered. So, kitchen service entrance. This looks more typical for Coastline. I actually can't remember the last time we started a Coastline matchup or multiple Coastline matchups that didn't go to this site first and foremost. I am a bit surprised, rather, that despite there being no Mira, as she is banned from this map, that we won't see a Maestro. A lot of teams, and that wall that we are currently looking at, thank you so much to the spectators, that wall right there, you usually see a Maestro cam go up there. Maybe even will go up on one of those banisters or the doorways. It's going to allow you to be able to hold down that site really effectively because most teams will put somebody over on the service entrance side of things. That's the B bomb site, bottom left of your screen. Usually have an ACOG playing behind that, or if the reinforced panel is being done exactly where Goddess is on that smoke, you'll have a rotate hold next to that, and you'll have an Evil Eye on the other side of it. So, of course, a moot point because C9 actually flexed off of the Maestro. So, interestingly enough.
Just interesting indeed as Laxing is going to start making these tiny little bullet holes with that MP5. Now guys, remember we do have caliber-based destruction in this game, so since the MP5 shoots such a small bullet, you're going to get these extremely tiny holes, unlike the Desert Eagle that everyone loves to break stuff with. So, SD is going to pop a couple holes in there just to see inside of Blue Bar for himself. As you guys could see with the sunrise, as we looked right over that bar right there, this is going to lock out everything they're trying to do inside of Sunrise, if that's going to be the take, or it's immediately going to get recognized because they have to break that castle in order to have any angle onto Kitchen.
Those that might not be the most familiar with Castle is 3 reinforced panels can be used in a variety of ways. Some to make the attackers have to waste their utility to get through areas that you can usually pass through relatively easily. In this case, what you're going to do is you're going to force Elephant Gang to waste either utility or time, but you can also safely expand the confines of the site. It allows you to play a little bit more aggressively, and it essentially makes the site even larger for the defenders. Doesn't change anything about getting that diffuser down, though. You still need to plant it in the actual site. So in this case, Cloud9 using Retro's panels just to buy themselves some time. And time is not a luxury for Elephant Gang right now, as they're still trying to establish map control up inside of Hookah and Pink. They're going to drone away as we hit the halfway mark of round 2.
Yeah, Trippin kind of getting in a dangerous situation right now. He might end up getting pitched out, as he did see Fox A rotating through luggage. Is Fox going to go for the aggressive peek here? The pre-fire is going to come through, but no bullets are going to make any contact. Trippin, though, going to find him on the back end with a very, very nice headshot, as they are going to be focusing on that vertical control still.
Surprised that nobody was on that default cam that was still up. You saw that they were on it. C9 was on it for just a second. To give that information to Fox A that, hey, he's pushing you, don't try to run. Laxing on the hunt right now, sees this Sophia and will actually win the fight on the Super. Great reactions there, taking quite a bit of damage, but he does have those Healy boys, as you called them, to stim himself back up. A toxic canister is going to go out, and Avian will pick off one of the Valkyrie cameras, and the C4 sails over his shoulder and connects with Neptunes, and oh, Mark! Taking the fight to Avian as Elephant Gang's push completely rebuffed. Laxing will get his second frag, and that will leave K9 playing outside of kitchen window, just waiting, and if he vaults through, there'll be a smoke waiting for him, but he doesn't need to. Laxing picking up his 3rd kill. He starts things off, and he ends things in that 2nd round. The defense managing to put 2 together on Coastline is not all that usual, but Cloud9 is just rolling for the time being, up 2-0.
Yeah, and the beauty of that dog play by Laxing and the operator as in of itself is that you can take so many gunfights because, as I said before, you do have those Healy boys to bring yourself back up, pop a couple of those in your wrist, and you are good to go for your next gunfight, as well as being a 3 armor he's going to last a lot longer unless obviously he gets shot in his face.
Just a clarification, the Healy boys are just a folksy way of saying his stim pistol, which give you some life back if people are curious about the words that we use.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I get a little bit too creative. I apologize, guys. It is my
I like
first
Healy
time.
boys. I do like it a lot.
I'm trying my best, you know what I mean? We got the medieval buck with sledge, you know? We're trying to be a little bit creative here. And, you know, speaking of creativity, I'm hoping C9 continues with exactly what they're doing, at least for the fans here, because there is a lot. I mean, guys, you should hear this crowd when anything happens for C9.
It is nice. This crowd has been very electric here.
I mean, it's
nice to get a chance to be back in America broadcasting to a strong crowd. So give yourself some applause, crowd. Don't just cheer for the team. The double bars downstairs, typically seen as one of the better sites for the defense. Cloud9 have been able to put 2 defensive victories on the board in sites that don't always favor a defensive style of play, especially on Coastline. Just a mirror, or is rather the complete opposite of a map like Villa or a map like Clubhouse, where you anticipate the defense will win for a majority, at minimum, of their rounds, possibly even all of them, depending on the way that teams play. On Coastline, you're in trouble if you're not able to put a couple attacking victories on the board. We're not quite at the point of no return for Elephant Gang yet, surely not if we're only 2 rounds in, but they're gonna have to find some momentum at some point, because they keep throwing things at the wall and they just haven't been sticking on this map, despite this being a favorable map for Elephant Gang in terms of their past success here on Coastline.
Hopefully Elephant Gang will soon realize what Cloud9 is trying to achieve with this castle. They've been more or less focusing Elephant Gang on the part of the map that they want them to push to. They haven't really brought an operator that can really be a detriment to these castles. They do have the soft destruct inside of Trippin, but a sledge is going to be a lot better choice. You have those grenades as well as you have that soft destruct inside of the hammer, and it's a little bit quieter instead of a massive explosion that is in of ash. But Neptune's trying to get some of that vertical control up inside of Billiards. See someone downstairs, but no bullets are going to connect. But I tell you what will connect, Retro to Trippin, as he is going to take away his life. That is going to be the ash off the board so early, and Retro going to find another one on the Neptunes. Oh my goodness, no longer support player is Retro right now on this castle, as he's being so dangerous.
Super was lying in wait inside an office, and he'll be rewarded with the kill onto Laxing. IQ taking out the pulse, likely aided by the IQ gadget to find the cardiac sensor of Laxing. That's going to be the only real information operator for Cloud9 gone. Keep in mind that as Legion, Fox8 can do some small amounts of work in terms of information gathering by knowing which of those goo mines get activated by people stepping on the traps. And right now, for Bar, there's nobody actually playing inside of sight. C9 playing the floor is made of lava at the moment, or the site is made of lava, other than Goddess, who's playing positioned by the bar looking towards the double doors. She had taken some damage earlier on from Neptune's, the buck upstairs. And I cannot speak strongly enough for how Cloud9 was able to rebound after Goddess took that first fight by clearing out Elephant Gang's control of Hookah. That is a big sigh of relief for Cloud9. Mark in a position to go for what looked to possibly be a run out, but instead it's just going to be a couple shots through the window. He's going to miss. K9 walking away with that, but still completely upright and using an asphyxiating bolt a little bit, probably worryingly for Elephant Gang, a misuse of utility.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was more or less just kind of a tap there by Mark saying, hey, I'm here. Fox ain't going to do the same thing, but this one's going to connect. The Super's going to go down. That's going to be the diffuser as well. Cloud9 in the driver's seat for this round. Is Mark going to take the gunfight? He is, but nothing going to come to fruition from that. Fox going to get aggressive. Is he going to find one of his own on glass? No. No bullets making contact for either of them, really. Avian and K9 both very down on health, and this is where those, oh my goodness, Fox going to clean it up for Cloud9. As I was about to say, those goo mines definitely going to be a very large detriment for the deep offense right there. I'm kind of falling apart right now.
It's okay, it happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
you know.
The pacing is off. You get a pass. It's your first land. Don't worry here. So, excellent recovery from Cloud9 after K9 did his part to try and keep it close. He picked up the 2 kills for Elephant Gang through the office as Cloud9 got a little bit too aggressive there. I think they realized it's a 4v2. We can take risks. None of those gambles paid off at all for Cloud9. They lost 2 members of the team. It's a good thing Foxy was playing. And Legion is an operator who gets stronger as time goes on. And like I said, it's a good thing that Foxy was playing as tight as he was inside a blue bar, because he was able to hold down the angle into office. It did trigger the 1 goo mine. The plant not able to go off for K9, and Avian could not do the cover that he needed. Overall, I got to go back to clearing out the pressure that Elephant Gang exerted on that second floor by having Retro play at the top of Cool Vibe stairs to be able to completely eliminate the buck. It meant that the attack on the 2-bar sites downstairs from Elephant Gang had to be much more linear. They couldn't keep any bodies upstairs. They knew they had to rotate and go for a site push rather than try and waste time or establish control above. And that's what Elephant Gang did, and C9 responded accordingly by gunning them down as they tried to get through the door.
Yeah, and Elephant Gang really not able to find any of these frags right here. As you guys did just see the scoreboard, I do believe the highest amount of kills of any player, yes, is 2 kills between K9 and Super. So they've only found 6 kills through 3 rounds for this offense. That is not what you want to see if you are in the E gang. Hopefully they're going to be able to pick it up here. Otherwise, this is definitely looking like a daunting task for them.
Just 30 seconds in here, and you've got, or almost 30 seconds in, and Elephant Gang is actually managing to spot Foxe playing with his back over towards Sunrise Bar. Wise of Foxe to fall off, but Super just pushes in unabated. Foxe obviously astonished there, and getting to see his reaction as he gets dropped by the IQ. Once again, Super doing his job as the German operator very well. 2 rounds in a row now that he was able to pick off the pulse. 2 rounds rather on attack, where he's able to pick off that pulse. First Laxing, and now Foxe, both falling to the gadget that is almost specifically designed to find you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as, you know, my favorite operator being Pulse, I know that all too well with IQ always trying to shoot you through floors and walls whenever you're trying to have access to that cardiac sensor for that information to give back to your team. But that is not going to work out too well for Foxe this time around, as things are starting to get a little bit more aggressive from E-Gang. They did start things off right this time around with Foxe going down. No more pulls from underneath, and they don't really have to worry about any nitro cells except for that of Laxings and of Valkyrie. Now, they do have the IQ. They can try and find these other black eye cameras inside of sight, as they do actually have Avian peeking. Oh my goodness, Retro couldn't find one of his own on a run out. Retro getting extremely aggressive. Usually you don't see him in one of those roles, but he's definitely doing it very well right now, as Mark's gonna find one of his own onto Avian. That is going to be the glass off the board.
We've still got Goddess prone watching the doorway and just tempting anyone to come in. Retro still not been spotted, a run out again. He takes Trippin down on that same position. Elephant Gang will now struggle as their mid-round is about to draw to a close, and they have no chance, or no choice rather, but to go for a plant. Neptune's holding onto that diffuser, will rely quite heavily on K9 for coverage. Second frag grenade from Elephant Gang going out. Both of them intended for Goddess and only taking a tiny bit of damage off. Mark, knowing that there's one playing inside a bathroom as he sees Neptunes go by, but Goddess is there, tagged in, and that's diffuser down, sitting in the Lion's Den. Elephants don't work well with Lions here, Sam, and K9 having to go in a 1v4 will likely just have to simply out-frag them. Now, Cloud9 can just sit back and wait, as K9 has to come to them, and they win it. But C9 going for a full-court press. And a great shot, and oh no, Laxing, what are you doing? 4 seconds for K9 to grab that diffuser, but he knows he's not going to be able to get it. Almost going in E-Gang's favor. Only one member of C9 alive at the end of that round. Ends up being the Valkyrie of Laxing. That's 4 in a row for C9, and you gotta think. I understand that they're having fun. You see they're in a pretty good mood, quite jovial. They're all laughing. Obviously, Laxing not intending to get the C4 kill onto Goddess, but oh well. She dies while planting, and apparently she dies from C4s on defense as well, to her own team.
Apparently, Cloud9 all of today just told me, they're like, look, she's the best player in the game, out of the game, whatever you want her to do. I guess they really just didn't want her to take away that kill from Laxing, as he is going to end up C4ing her in the process. But that is a straight 4 rounds for Cloud9 on this defense. Looking extremely clean on Coastline, and apparently they've been doing the research.
Yeah, this has been a major turnaround for them. The stats were, for Coastline, over the last 6 months of top-level competitive play. This encompasses USN and other various leagues that C9 has played in. It banned 18 times, the record of 0 wins, 0 draws, and 1 lost. So far, you've taken 4 of your defensive rounds, which is so uncommon here. Whereas if you look on the flip side of things with Elephant Gang, well, they banned Coastline 0 times, and their record is 3-1-1. Now, mind you, much smaller sample size. The Elephant Gang has not been as active a team as Cloud9, but those are still numbers that should definitely favor the attackers. And it's going to be the final crack at attack for Elephant Gang before we switch sides. C9 has the brooms out looking for the sweep before we switch over, and they're going to go back down to kitchen.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love all of your puns, Parker. That's what I love about you. But as you did say, those brooms are definitely coming out for the defense that is C9, and they're back on the castle play with Retro. Last time he was on this operator, he did some very, very good work upstairs near the vase over by Cool Vibe Stairs, as he did absolutely destroy all of the vertical take that E-Gang was trying to accomplish.
New feed
It's like a very similar castle setup from Cloud9. Got the double doors heading in towards Sunrise Bar that are going to be cordoned off. And as you mentioned, this caliber-based destruction here that you can basically create these tiny little kill holes, and with an ACOG, a major advantage. And well, there's Laxing. We can see the silhouette as Super, who just runs by. That information is obviously not available to Laxing. You gotta wonder sometimes if they just pull the trigger, that you can walk away with a pretty nice opening kill. Elephant Gang are already in sight, and Neptune's 20 seconds in, 25 seconds in, tries to get the plant down, but Goddess just absolutely shreds through him. Deagle out for Mark as he takes one down, and Avian grabs his kill. K9 gets one, another Deagle kill from Mark, as it's a 2v3. Elephant Gang's rush, a bold choice, but it goes nowhere fast, leaving just Super and K9 left to deal with a defense. It's going to be K9 now in, trying to go for a plant, literally in the corpse of Neptune's. With a pre-fire through the wall from Foxay will tag him and force K9 to have to scoot out. This is where I'd imagine things might slow down here for E-Gang, but they're still just being as aggressive. And K9 with the automatic sidearm of Dokkaebi eliminate Foxay, and they know he's inside a bathroom. Mark looks the wrong way. E-Gang in a very winnable spot. Now Laxing will have to win off, and he'll put himself in a 1v1 with the Magnum out. Sam, I'm sorry, apparently you don't get to talk this round because everything's happening all at once. Once again, the plant going down. K9 knows he's got 7 seconds. He runs up, and Laxing almost gets them, and there he goes! C9, the sweep on the first half. Get out of here, and we'll switch sides. I apologize.
Oh, don't apologize, don't apologize. I always have something to say. Trust me, my family knows that back at home. I always have something to say. But I will tell you one thing, though, and this is what I love to categorize that as. Parker is a utility dump right there. They dumped everything in those first 30 seconds. There was a flurry of kills from both sides. A lot of very fancy Deagle kills, though. You'll love to see it.
25 seconds in, and we had an attempted plant from Elephant Gang. Neptune's got tagged as he was getting in through service, and I think that was ultimately what gave them away. There was an early smoke that appeared to be used by the Dokkaebi, in which Neptune's tried to get into service over by the wall that connects to the bathroom and go for the plant, but he got lit up quite heartily by the Valkyrie, and I think that's when they realized.
We have one of the most aggressive op choices of the entire day, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I did have the honor of casting C9 recently when they did have Goddess on Capitao, and let me tell you, it was pretty fantastic. It really, really was. I mean, look at the amount of aggression that they're bringing right now. This is absolutely insane. I'm going to love to see exactly how they're going to try and set this up. I'm going to assume this is more or less going to be kind of what E-Gang was trying to do, but they have a lot more utility around that. They might try and get rid of that vertical control with Fox on that Jackal. And Jackal's weapon being honestly so underrated comparative to other entry fraggers, especially along with the R4C and the F2 of Twitch. We'll see exactly how this is going to work for them as their first offensive round is coming through right now.
This is more standard in terms of a kitchen take. I'm very glad that we at least get to see an example of what I was talking about with the Maestro cameras and the Evil Eyes, putting the cam up beside the bomb chassis. There it is. You'd usually have a mirror window there, but this is kind of the budget mirror window when you can't afford the full paneling and You know, you don't have air conditioning for your car, so you just got to wind the windows down. This is basically the Rainbow6 equivalent. And you're going to have somebody playing by the B bomb site. Now, usually it's going to be an ACOG so that you can quickly peek around it, be able to engage at a longer range than, say, the shotgun that is in Trippin's hands. But it's going to be playing as the smoke. For Cloud9, 30 seconds, and they are putting a lot of pressure onto Sunrise Bar. So whereas Elephant Gang attacked this site and decided to do so through the service side of things, Cloud9's going to go through Sunrise Bar, and it's going to actually work against them as the Glaz's smoke will prevent Retro from being able to get the trade onto Avian. They'll flash the pulse and somewhat blind himself, but I don't think he still knows there's two of them in there. It's Avian is with Neptunes, and Neptunes will get down. Now Goddess is up, but she's still going to have to get through Avian, and she'll manage to do it as Neptunes falls as well. And we're back on a 3v3, so early action halfway through.
You'd expect nothing less with that lineup that they chose. Fox A going to grab another set of footprints. That is going to be the Legion of Super. All the way across the map by the security doors. You can see him over there playing around that front door area. Now that Alda, you hear it rip through towards Sunrise. Not going to do too much, as they are going to start destroying Barb on site. Now, Cloud9 needs to focus on keeping their utility up for this execution. You guys do not want to see any wasted utility when they go for this. Any of that wasted utility is just going to put them in a worse spot than it already is. They do have to worry about Trippin, though, with those toxic babes.
Goddess has both asphyxiating bolts and both of her smoke arrows. You see, for Laxing, he's still got, I believe it was 2 of the concussions, and then for Fox A, both of his smoke grenades. So you mentioned utility dump last time around, and I imagine we're going to see something very similar here. One asphyxiating bolt from Goddess will go off. It's met with a response from the smoke of Trippin, as a toxic canister will go towards the front door of Kitchen and just keep the Capitao waiting. The ACOG just gingerly looking around the doorframe, trying to find somebody. She sees Trippin. She'll get the down, but keep in mind, no point notifications on. K9 gets absolutely obliterated.